How to make a web form. Create a web form to collect information quickly and easily from your members. Design forms to collect suggestions and feedback, sign up for events and memberships, and design questionnaires, polls, and surveys. To begin, sign in to your community site as an administrator. Next, go to the page where you would like to place your web form. Make sure that the Toggle Edit Controls box in the gray bar at the top of your screen is checked. This will allow you to see your editing tools. Next, to add a web form application to your page, click to open the Add menu in the gray bar at the top of your screen. Select More. A search box will open. Type in Web Form. When you see the application, click down on it and drag it to the place on the page where you would like to put it. The default setting for a web form is a suggestions form, but don't worry, you can customize these settings to reflect any type of web form you'd like. To edit the form, look for the wrench icon that appears when you run your mouse over the web form icon in the top right corner. Click to open its drop-down menu. Select Configuration. A web form's configuration box will pop up. Let's look at the options for designing your web form. Let's begin with form information. First, in the title field, type in the name that you would like to be displayed at the top of the form. Next, if you would like a description or caption of that title to appear below it, type it here. Next, click on the Require CAPTCHA box if you would like to include a field that verifies that the form is being completed by a human and not an automatic computer program. In your form, the CAPTCHA will look a little bit like this. And finally, if you would like to display a response upon successful receipt of the form, type that message here. For example, "Thank you for registering. You will receive a confirmation email in 24 hours, or something like that. Now, let's continue to handling of form data. The fields in handling of form data control how you, as the administrator, receive the information filled out in the forms. For example, if you click the box Send as an email, this means that all the forms that are completed by your members will be sent as an email. Next, fill in the subject of that email so that when you receive these emails, you'll know where they came from. And finally, fill in the email address you'd like the emails to be sent to. For example, info@myvillage.com. And finally, if you would like to export the data responses from your form into a database, like Microsoft Excel, click on Save to Database. Now, let's go down to Form Fields. This section is where you define what fields and what kind of information you collect on your form. Though each of these fields already has a name, you can change the name that you see in the heading by changing the name field. For example, if I wanted the field to say first name instead of name, I would just change it here. Now, each one of these sections is a different field. Currently, there are only 3 in the default form. If you would like others, simply use the plus and minus buttons, a plus button for another section, and the negative to take one away. Keep in mind that when you duplicate a section, it will appear directly below, and not at the end of your form. Now, in each field you can define the name of the field, and also the type of response field. Here are your options. The first one is text. By selecting text, you will allow small amounts of text like a name or address to be filled into the field. A text box gives you a little bit more space for larger amounts of text, like a comment or description. If you select Options, you will create a drop-down menu of multiple options to choose from. However, if you select Options, be sure that you fill in these options in the box that appears below it. For example, if I wanted to create a drop-down menu of days of the week, I would type in my choices separated by commas. These would then appear in a drop-down menu, like this one. Now let's continue. If you click on Radio Buttons, you will create a set of buttons that represent mutually exclusive options. That way, you can only click on one. The Paragraph option allows you to enter explanatory text or white space by using the Enter key between other fields. And finally, the checkbox creates checkbox options that allow you to select more than one option, unlike the radio buttons. And finally, please remember that every field will be marked as required automatically unless you click the optional box. This will allow people to skip this field in the web form. Creating your own web form is as simple as creating the fields to collect the information that you need. When you're finished designing your form, click on Save at the bottom. Now, exit the Configurations box and view your form as it appears immediately on the page. Also, remember that editing your web form is as easy as clicking on the wrench icon and re-entering its configuration. However, if you would like to move the web form around on the page, simply click down and hold down on the web form icon, and then move it to your desired location. Finally, if you would like to delete the web form altogether, simply click down on the icon and click the X. A prompt box will appear to double check that you'd like to delete the component. If you're certain, click OK.